all 6 aspects of health. That's right, every week we share tips to improve your physical health, your financial health, of course, your social health, intellectual health, mental health, and like today's episode, your spiritual health. And our topic on how to improve your spiritual health is the tree of life. If you have never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. We here are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest millionaires in all aspects of life. In the spirit of authenticity, to try to keep as much bias and persuasion out, we do not talk to our guests at all about their tips. And so what they tell you now is about the same thing. At the same time, I'm going to hear it. Audience, this is an interactive show. Please leave your comments and questions and anything else you want. Just put it in the chat on wherever you're watching us, and we will ask it live on air. Woohoo! What else is there? Oh man, audience shout out time. Heck yeah. So huge shout out to on Facebook, Mira Young, Instagram, Holly Hughes, TikTok, Sarah Oni, and YouTube, Allison Murden. If you want to get shouted out on our show, all you got to do is follow us. Yeehaw. If you want to be on our show, we would love to have you. We're always looking for new guests. We love new perspectives, new thoughts, and we know you have something to share with the world. We're dropping a link right now. Click it, sign up, be a guest. Let's grow, baby. And if you have any topic ideas, man, we love topic ideas. Any aspect of health, let us know. We're doing spiritual health right now. If you have a lot of spiritual health topic ideas, please send them to us. So our mission is to help everyone grow. If you like what we do, send stars, share, like, subscribe, do whatever you can on your social media network that you're watching us on. And if you want even more in-depth help to grow, I do offer free one-on-one growth consultations with me. That link's being dropped right now. And if you're really cool and you want to look really cool, we now have merchandise. We've got awesome shirts. We've got calendars. We've got mugs, all sorts of stuff. Check out the link that we're dropping right now and go grab some merch. Woo! And last but not least, this show is brought to you by some awesome sponsors we've had. Our first is Craig Zukovsky, who's a human behaviorist and a mentor who focuses and helps entrepreneurs discover their true identity, which is way harder than you think, their purpose, and achieve growth in business and life. What an awesome stud Craig is. Super smart guy. Check his link out. We've also got Sarah Jones, who was a very unhappy woman at one point, buried in debt in a marriage that was failing, until she buckled down and decided to get out of the big name financial program to get out of debt, and eventually figured out how to build a healthy financial foundation. Now she travels the U.S. with her husband, teaching everyone else how to build a healthy financial foundation so they can live the life they deserve. They live in an RV with a trailer and a car and a motorbike and all sorts of stuff, travel in the U.S., happy as clams. Go check them out. Learn how to build a healthy financial foundation. Our next sponsor is Cam Knight, super smart man. Got laid off and then decided to go take the CPA exam and figured out that intelligence is a skill, not a gift. So now he spends his life teaching everyone how to build their intelligence and have the tools to learn faster, think sharper, and achieve more. And our final sponsor for this episode, thank you so much, is Jeremy Roderick, author of Lead Like a King. He's a coach to husbands and men that are refusing to settle for a life of frustration and quiet resentment. Most men think that marriage and parenting is just a grind and an unwinnable game, but the truth is you just weren't given the right tools to win. Jeremy's got them for you. His book, Lead Like a King, is the roadmap to mastering marriage, creating an unshakable confidence, and leading with power at home and in business. If you're ready to step up, go check out Jeremy right now in his book. And that now brings us to our first guest. First up, we have Andrea. Andrea, tell us, who are you?
I am a an amazing person who enjoys connecting with people such as yourself. I am excited, I am ambitious, authentic, and act with integrity. I am also a certified motivational speaker, author, and coach. But most importantly, I love to dance and I'm excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me.
What kind of dance do you love?
Every kind of dance, whether it's classical,
Oh,
reggaeton, you put some music on, I'm dancing. Not right now, I'm
classical
sitting down.
reggaeton. Those are opposites. You ever been to a hoedown?
Yes, I have. Yes, I
No
have.
way. I don't even
Yes,
know if
I
I've
have.
been there, and I
I
grew up
got
in
kicked off.
Centerville.
I got kicked off the dance floor because my hips don't lie.
Oh man, that was a real hoedown. Just kidding. Andrea, I got an important question for you.
Yes.
If I wanted to improve my spiritual health regarding the tree of life, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
When all else fails, regardless wherever you are, make sure you put your feet to the ground and connect with nature.
Good thing
The
I'm
reason
barefoot
why
right now.
the reason why I say that is because the energy, the frequency, and the high vibrations of all elements prove to us that we're interconnected. When we realize that we're balanced with nature and all of the elements in the world, then we are at peace and able to balance each other out. Back to you.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. I love that, Andrea.
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
us where in your life journey you learned this advice.
I learned this on my life journey when I was at a crossroads, Austin. I was just following the herd and not my heart. I was listening and expressing and dealing with the emotions of a pain and not my passion. So when I decided, let me go out into the elements, let me have the sun kiss my face, put my feet in the grass, and just be at peace and silence and immerse myself in Mother Nature. And that's when I restored my faith, restored my ability to move forward always and live with my heart.
How? Tell us more about that. What was the defining moment?
The defining moment was that I was so distracted by the influences and the individuals in my life that were either encouraged me to conform to do something that I didn't feel comfortable with, that I didn't agree with, or they were dictating my life. And I had to take the pen in my own hands and write my own story. I was really frustrated. I had no belief and no self confidence. And my support system was naysayers and non believers. So once I decided to let me get back to balance, to my roots, pun intended, to remember where I came from, I was able to reset, reboot, and recharge and follow my heart.
Amazing. I love it. Thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you.
We're going to move
Yeah,
on to our next guest here. Our
absolutely.
next guest is a spirit medium named Daniel. Daniel, tell
Hello.
us, who are you?
My name is Daniel Jackson. I go by Spirit Medium Daniel, and I see dead people, but no one's actually dead. But I don't just see people. I see dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, other beings from other worlds. I see into other dimensions at remote view. I have a multitude of things going on with me. There's never a point in my life that I don't ever not see spirit, ever. So even when I close my eyes, I see more. Or when I'm in a dark room, I see more, but I see them with my eyes open as well. So just try to imagine to go to sleep at night with that, because for me it's like being in a room with 1,000 people, except nobody leaves and more just keep coming in.
Jesus. So you see spirits right now then?
I see spirit right now. I don't ever not see it,
Fantastic. Well,
and
let me ask you this.
it's not like people think. People have this
Okay.
ideal ideology of spirituality when they have absolutely no idea, because
So,
they base it on one side of, oh, everything's love and light and all that stuff. That is absolutely not the truth. If people saw what was actually taking place around them every single day, they would probably hide in the closet. So they don't really know. They just claim
but,
to know,
but
because
you
if
don't
they do
hide
a
in the
bunch of,
closet.
no, I don't, because I'm able to understand it.
Are you able to talk to them?
Oh yeah, they talk to me, they talk around me. But that's when I do readings for people or give advice to people. That's not who I get my information from, because a lot of the ones that I see are what we are on the low energy, earthbound side. There's no such place as hell. There's no such thing as demons and devils and all that stuff. There's no one guy who's in control of everything. They're just like people who are here who are in control of themselves and do things for themselves only. But yes, but the place that I get my answers from are archangels who are not men with wings and shields and swords by any means. They are not magical beings that are going to come here and fix your life either. And you do not have a guardian angel following you around. No one does. If you had a guardian angel following you around, guarding you from everything in your life, what would you learn? You would learn nothing. That's not why God, there's a saying that says, God bless you. Well, he did. He puts us here. He wants us to figure out the rest. He is not going to hold your hand through your life, because if he did that, then what would be the meaning of being here in the first place? There wouldn't be.
So a bit more of a tough love kind of God. All right,
Absolutely.
we'll get more into that, Daniel. Let's get these
Sure.
questions out, and when we bring you around, Robin, I have a feeling we're going to be unpacking some stuff with you. So, let's ask you this question. It's super important. If I wanted
Sure.
to improve my spiritual health regarding the tree of life, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
That advice would be to learn to listen, trust, and follow through. And what I mean by that is you're learning to listen, trust, and follow through with what your soul is trying to tell you. People call it intuition. It's actually your soul. Again, like I said, they don't really know what to understand what they're talking about. Uh, you get messages all day long because people want messages from God all day long, but you get messages from them all day long. People just don't realize it. When you wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, I need to go to the mall today. Where do you think that's coming from? It is not coming from you. It is coming from them trying to get you on a path to go to the mall today so you can have experiences and meet people. All these things are going to make a difference in your life of learning your lessons while trying to fulfill your purpose. So you can go home and stay home and not have to come back and do this all over again. But we're
So
all
you,
here now. Most people are here now because they didn't get it right the last time or any other time. So that's why I don't mess with the end the with the past life regression stuff, because those lives were important only when they were being lived. They are not important now. What's important is what you do now, not what you did 100 years ago. So stop looking for stories to enrich your life. Enrich your life by doing the things you are meant to do, which is right now and not 100 years ago.
okay? Um, Man, we got a lot to go through, Daniel. Whew, this is gonna be
Yeah, it's
good.
okay.
One thing, I'm going to say this now, but we won't answer it. We'll get back to it in the round robin. Is you
Sure.
said that it's not intuition, it's your soul. So we're going to
Correct.
go further in and define what a soul is once we have all our guests together. But one last
Sure.
question for you before we move on to our next guest. Where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
I learned this from those who I communicate with every day, and that's archangels. And I don't just communicate with them telling me things. They actually physically touch me on my face for yes and no answers. In the beginning, it was just two of them. Now it's 93. So it's not just 12 or 14 that they mentioned in that book. By that book, it's brought to you by the people who want to tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it. Give them 10%. Don't give them 10%. They don't earn it. Uh, they are the ones who provide me with this information. I don't read books. I don't listen to other mediums. I don't follow these people because most of them don't know what the heck they're talking about, and I have to educate them all the time. I get answers from them. So essentially, I'm getting answers from God, because people come to me because they want an answer from God, and I get the answer. But most of the time, they don't like the answer because people just don't like the truth. It's too bad.
Fascinating. Fascinating. All right, Daniel, we're going to move on to our next guest, and we'll bring it back out in the round robin.
Sure.
Thank you so much for all of your information you've given so far. Open up
You're
a
welcome.
bookworm of questions. All right, we'll bring it
Absolutely.
back out in just a second here. Next up, we have Joanne.
Hello, hello,
Joanne,
hello. Yes.
Joanne, who are you?
Who am I? I'm a spiritual being, compassionate, kind, loving, intuitive, sensitive, and here to make a world of a difference by shining my light so you can see your light and learn what you came here to learn as a spiritual being, living multitudes of human experiences.
Fascinating. Joanne, if I wanted to improve my spiritual health with the tree of life, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Embody the whole person, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, and your physical body. Getting into the space of knowing who you are from a soul level, being curious to discover everything, even the things you cannot see, because again, when we close our eyes, we can see a lot. Become more conscious of the things that are around you. Open your ears so you can hear everything you need to hear. Be open and willing and ready. My biggest go-to is tap into what I like to call post progressive overload strength training. As you tap into your physical body and embody your physical body, it's the union to connecting to who you are spiritually, because it's probably the one and only time in your day where you're really connecting physically, emotionally, mentally, and soulfully.
Solely. Okay. Where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
I feel as though I was born with this advice. I woke up just knowing that this is the guide, this is the direction, this is what I'm here to do and be, and I believe I'm living my soul's purpose. My reason for being up every day, to shine my light and to share what I need to share with those who need to hear it.
I love it. Um, Great. Well, are you ready to move on to the round robin? I think we have a lot to unpack.
Yes.
All right. We'll bring everyone else out here. And I've already got the first question that I'm going to ask. So good luck to all of you. First thing we're going to go over, what is a soul?
Anyone
You
can
ladies
jump in
can go
on this.
first. I could jump in, but I'll let you ladies try first.
Daniel,
Go
go
ahead,
for
Joanne.
it first. Daniel, go for it first. Let's see what you have.
The soul is energy that was created from God. All souls are divine, not just one. Not Jesus Christ is not the only divine soul. We are all created from God, from a part of Him, which makes our soul a divine soul. So everyone is divine. There is no such thing as a divinity of just one, because as anyone knows, in spirituality, is not about the one; it's about the many. So, in other words, we are all connected to each other. But these souls are all we all come from the same family, the soul family. We're all just living here in this human experience, learning to try to figure things out, of which the purpose is trying to work together and get everything straightened out. But that's what your soul is. Your soul is just energy created from God. And if that energy were not meant to be here, it wouldn't be. It's that simple.
I
But
love that. I love that.
in order to connect with that soul, you have to learn to listen, trust, and follow through, and you have to get rid of all the pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish. If you're not doing that, you're not connecting with your soul. If you're not getting rid of all the situational drama and situational people that are in your life, I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your best friend, or your so-called best friend. If they are not being a positive force in your life and helping you to lift yourself up in this world, but it's got to be vice versa. If they're not doing that, then why do you have them in your life? Get rid of them. There's nothing in any book that says you have to talk to anybody. And if you're keeping these people in your life and you're paying attention to news and politics and all this other garbage, all this distraction, if you're still doing that, then you're not connecting to your soul. You have to completely clear your life out in order to connect with your soul, because it takes a very long time in order to do that. You just can't go overnight and go, oh, I'm going to do it one day and think it's going to happen. It's not. It takes a very long time. And then you have to maintain it. You can't do these illusionary tools. Well, let me put some crystals around my house and that's going to make me connect my soul. No, you're lying to yourself. Or let me get some sacred geometry tattoos. No, that is not going to help you either. Let me burn some sage because that's going to make negative energy go away. That does absolutely not work. It does not happen, because smoke from sage does not transpose from a physical realm into a non-physical realm, making anything go away. The only way that you can make anything go away from your lifetime is by making it happy, by being proactive and setting intentions and getting rid of it of yourself. If you're not doing any of that, you have to be doing all of that in order to connect with your soul. You can't just pick and choose and do one or two things. It doesn't work that way.
All right. Let's hear Andrea. Tell us what your thoughts are on the soul.
Absolutely. Thank you, Daniel, for clearing all of that up. I say, for me personally, the soul is all the energies and frequencies upon your personal experiences. So it's tapping into your deep within your heart and your passion, and tapping into understanding your why, understanding your purpose and mission and message, and learning from the losses, living through the triumphs, and celebrating the here and now, because what we do is being present, and our time and our presence is the gift to others. That's what I believe the soul is. It's an energy field that embodies all personal, professional, and any other experiences we gain from others to help us steer us into the right direction as we choose fit.
Joanne, how do you define a soul?
I define
I
a soul. Oh, pardon me. I thought you said Andrea.
I
Close.
define the soul. I just find the soul as my navigation system from the light from within. That helps me to navigate, navigate who I am, where I am, how I am, why I am. Allowing myself to ask those deep-hearted questions, tapping into all that there is, recognizing that there's so much more than what's actually within front of us, and allowing my soul to be the one that guides me, as opposed to me guiding my soul. As long as I know that I'm guided by my soul, I'm fulfilling what I came here to do, to learn and to teach, and allow the light to shine from my soul.
I love it. All right, we're gonna go down a. I'll get to your questions, audience, in just a sec. I've got a weird path we're gonna go down here. All right. So Daniel, you said when you see spirits that they can actually physically touch you, correct?
Yeah, I get touched by regular spirit, although negative energies cannot touch me because I'm protected by archangels all day long. I don't have to sit around and go, oh, let me get this protection thing going or anything like that. I'm always protected. So in other words, I could walk into any haunted house or so-called haunted house because the whole world is haunted. There's spirit is everywhere. There's never a place where they are not. But the negative ones absolutely cannot touch me. They can talk to me and stuff like that, and they do say horrible things. And I see. When I see negative energies, I see the worst horror movie you would ever see in your lifetime, except you're not going to see this horror movie because they wouldn't show it on TV or movies because it's like that. And it turns off when it wants to. And it's not what you think it is. It is worse than that. No one wants to see what I see. They just don't.
And then you also said that soul is the energy from God. God created energy into a soul, correct?
Correct. People call him God or they call him the source. You're all wrong. It's Father. That's who he is. He's your Father. Know that.
Father. Okay. So now I have a weird conclusion I'm jumping to. I want to hear all of your thoughts. So we have all these different types of wavelengths of energy, right? Gamma rays, X rays, sound waves, such as that. And now that Daniel's saying that he's physically being touched, what are your guys' thoughts on maybe perhaps an energy ray that we have not yet discovered is more in the spiritual realm? So possibly there's the reason
No.
Daniel's seeing spirits. You said no or yes?
No, that's absolutely gamma rays and all, that's all physical things. It has absolutely nothing
Correct.
to do with your non-physical. So I'm getting touched because I'm being touched on my face for yes and no answers. When I get a yes, it feels like blood dripping across my face, on my forehead. When I get a no,
But
it
that's
feels
not
like
physical. That's just
oh, it's absolutely physical. But if I explained the way that it actually happens and showed you and told you the way that it happens, it would probably freak you the heck out.
okay. I guess that's what I'm trying to understand then. And then you said a soul is energy. What kind of energy is the soul? It's not physical energy?
No, it's not physical energy. It's just connected to a physical body, and that's why you're able to feel things. So, like when you get goosebumps, that's not nerves coming through. Goosebumps is your soul coming through, letting you know this is good for it because it is a good vibration. It is a good connection. Every single time you have the goosebumps come through, like when you hear that one song and you, oh, I love what is song, what is music? It is vibration, it's connection. You hear it and it comes through. It's letting you know.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's vibration essentially is a type of sound wave. All right,
Right, but it's not a physical sound wave that's created by something here on this world.
the goosebumps are not.
No, it's
Okay,
just a
so
reaction.
goosebumps.
It's a reaction to that.
Okay. All right. Question from the audience: are Ouija boards real?
Ouija boards are real, but Ouija boards were intended and created for negativity. In order for you, someone who doesn't know what you're doing, to open up a portal to allow something through, because the person you think you're allowing through, you don't know who is behind it. You know why? Because most people can't see them. That's why. And then the thing about a Ouija board is the person who actually owns the Ouija board, if a negative energy does come through from that portal, the person who owns the Ouija board will now retain that negative energy around them because that person allowed it, invited it to come in. Don't play with a Ouija board. It is not a freaking game. It is not.
All right, one last question for you, Daniel. Do you have you met other people that see spirits as often as you?
No, I haven't met anybody who sees as much as I do, and you don't want to. I'm telling you, you don't want to. I see 1,000 I see every ghost hunter show that's out there. Everything they've seen in the past 10 seasons, I see in one day. You don't want to see this. I'm telling you. I mean, the only reason I'm able to see that is because I'm open. Because in order to get the answers that I do, that I get from archangels, I have to be open to everything. So you're not opening yourself up to a can of chicken noodle soup. You're opening yourself up to the worst can of worms you've ever seen in your entire life, and you can't turn it off. It doesn't go away. They are everywhere. Spirit are everywhere. You don't have to go into a prison or some other psychiatric ward to find spirit. You can find them in Walmart. They're everywhere. The fact is that some spirit want to be seen. Most don't. Why? Because they're now living a life that's uninterrupted. But if they want to, if we play a prank on each other here, you find out who it is. That's called a prank. If they play a prank on you, you can't see them, but they think it's funny because they are in a realm that they don't have any rules there. There's different realms. You could go into the light, and it's all about love and joy. But you have this lower energy realm here. But not everything in that lower energy realm is what you think it is. I see children there all the time. I see dogs and cats and horses and cows and fish. I see deer walking around grazing. Why would they be grazing? Because that's what they did before they passed away. There is no such thing as a rainbow bridge. It just isn't. That's a poem. Not everything crosses over into the light. The other 2 days ago, I crossed 46 children over. They were under the age of 12 years old because no one talks to their children about death because they're afraid if they do that, things are good. We can't talk about that. If you don't talk to your kids, if you don't talk to your animals, if you don't talk to anybody and let them know to walk into that light, that when they pass over, they won't. They may possibly stay here. And that's the problem. We walk around going, everything is love and light and rainbows and unicorns, but we don't talk to each other. And we need to talk to everybody. We need to re-educate. We don't educate. And that's why as many people that do cross over into the light, there's that many that don't. And that's what we need to turn around. Stop talking to the people who are coherent and can understand things and start talking to the ones who can't understand things, like children and animals. That's what we need to do here. And we're not doing that. And that's the big part of spirituality that people don't get. We could get more people on board if we would start educating everybody. From the time that you wake up in a baby body and you're going, wow, and your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the heck you are, but okay. And they raise you and they teach you the ways of the world. They teach you garbage is what they teach you. And we need to stop doing that. That is the problem in this world. We can get everybody else on board if they would listen, trust, and follow through and pay attention. But we need to start from the beginning of when they first get here. That's what we need to do.
Interesting. I like it, Daniel. We're going to switch topics a little bit here. We'll start with Andrea. Andrea, how do you define the tree of life?
Excellent question. I define the tree of life as an analogy, a roadmap, if you will, to kind of understand the balance of humanity, spirituality, and your intention in the world. It talks about pretty much kind of the process of evolution for an individual with their mind, body, spirit, and soul. They start with the individuality, who is I, who is one, who is ourselves, and then we are an example of our influences and then our gifts, morals, and values. And as we understand the tree of life of individuality to doing the transformation to really in understanding our ancestors, and as Daniel had mentioned, the importance and significance of connection and strength and empowerment, then and only then we can find peace. And by doing that is learning the symbiotic relationships amongst humans of their areas of strength, their areas of improvement, what gets you frustrated, what gets you energetic, and use that with our greatest positive intention. Because as the greats say, energy flows where focus goes. And that's what we're embodying today. We're embracing the frequency and knowledge of the highest vibration And when we find that, then we find the ability to help one another as opposed to harm one another.
Joanne, how do you define the tree of life?
I love that question. The tree of life is similar to our navigation system. It helps us to navigate the do's and the don'ts, the things we see, the things we don't, the connection that we do have with our collaboration team, angels, heaven, etc. It takes us in a direction that we are here to be in. It guides us, it supports us. It's that connection that we do have with our mind, our body, our emotions, especially our emotions, because as humans, we have emotions. And it's the emotions that most of us are led by. It's how we feel. It's getting up every single day and feeling a certain way. Why do we feel a certain way? And we might have gone to bed the night before feeling great, wake up the next morning feeling lousy. So we literally are led by those emotions. So our emotions is a big part of guiding us through what's called the tree of life. We need our emotions to help us grow through just what I like to call our spiritual journey. Without those emotions, if we focus on pushing those emotions down and pretending that everything is love and light, we're never going to really learn anything. We need the darkness to explore where we're going. So when we do get to see that light, we can appreciate the light that comes from within. Learning how to navigate through the tree of life will take us to where we have to go and help us to be courageous enough to travel through the tree of life physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Fantastic answer, Joanna. Thank you for that. We've got more questions. Next up, Andrea, does the tree of life come from indigenous traditions or Western?
It's a good question. I believe it's, the mindset of the individual who created it. It's based on their experiences. As far as indigenous traditions, those are legends and stories that are passed on by individuals. Western, that's also based on the personal experiences. So I would say the tree of life comes from the individual who has created based on their experiences, what they perceive. Because remember, we all experience life, as Joanna and Daniel had mentioned, as well as you, Austin, that we can walk into a room and have the same atmosphere, but have different experiences. So I believe that the tree of life comes from the individual who created it based on their own personal experiences. It's for us to choose to interpret it how it resonates with us.
Awesome. Thank you for that response. Another question from the audience. I am watching with my 7-month-old and picking up my 2-year-old in a few hours. Appreciated Daniel's thoughts on teaching kids, especially I think Daniel said as soon as they arrive, right? Wondering what the other two guests think is the most important to bring to children's awareness.
You want me to jump on that?
Yeah, you are one of the other two. Daniel said his piece, so now it's your turn.
All right, there you go. Yes, I do believe that as young children, it's something that it's important to teach them. However, I do also believe that young children already know it because we are the most innocent when we are young. And as we all have said from the very start of this conversation, is this is not our first go around. We've been here before, so we already do know. We already know the direction. The we know what our soul needs, and we have, I'm going to use the word, been reincarnated to this new family that may not necessarily be new. Our mom might have once been our sister. Our dad might have once been our uncle. We might have actually been the parents at the time. So now we're here in this lifetime as the child to learn it in a different way, to see it in a different light. So if we allow our children, our babies, because when we think about our spiritual gifts, when we think about being psychic, being a medium, being sensitive, oh my God, children are the most sensitive. Talk about, I mean, Daniel talks about seeing spirit all the time. Babies see spirit 24/7, all the time. If you ever literally watch a child, an infant, and you watch them, they're staring into space. Why? Because they see spirit. It starts as young as newborn. However, unfortunately, because it's so misunderstood, it gets disconnected from our families. Maybe because of their fears, thinking their child's weird, thinking their child has a symptom. In fact, I've just literally written an article about ADHD, a very common symptom, which is theoretically the most highest intuitive individual there is. Talk about children these days who walk around with attention deficit because there's just too much going on around them. So yes, all children already know. They already know. They see more spirits than any of us do. From the start to the moment they open their eyes, from the moment of birth. So the idea now is just to allow them to be that spiritual being that they are. And we can learn from them in that process. And again, we already know. We already know. We already know everything we need to know. We just have to learn how to step out of our way, our own way, so we can allow it to be exactly what it needs to be at the time it needs to be it.
Quick question. I'm gonna pop in real quick. Joanne, do you have children?
I do.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are getting close to the end of the show. I'm going to ask one more question that might have Daniel go off on a lot of explanation, which is kind of exciting. I'll let everyone answer, but maybe we'll have Daniel answer first. Daniel, how outside of death is there a way for spirits or souls to cross the physical spiritual barrier?
Yeah, spirit can cross anytime they want to. They just have to have the wanting and willingness to do that. But they don't always do that because a lot of places, a lot of the people that are there, the beings that are there, and the beings that I talk about are not absolutely from Earth. That's for sure. Because if people think we're the only people in this world and out in the universe, you might want to think again. Because I see everything, and everything that I see again isn't always nice. But they can cross, but they have to want to cross. And if they don't want to cross, because when you wake up in the world and you're here, you get just lifetime here. But when you wake up in that spiritual realm there, when you stand up out of your body at this moment, when you die, you're going to pass away. You're going to look down at your body and go, I don't need that anymore. You take a step to the left, you look to the right, and a light turns on for you. And you either walk in or you don't. But a lot of times people don't walk in because they are taught the ways of the world, or they are taught there's some place called hell, and there's one guy who's going to torture everybody and all that stuff, which is a bunch of bullcrap. And they tell you that you're not good enough or anything like that. So a lot of times they don't cross over for those reasons. But they're also surrounded by these other beings who are telling them not to go either, because those beings want them to stay there so they can collect the energy from them. But they can cross over, but they have to want to do it. And if they don't want to do it, again, you're in a place that doesn't have any rules. They can do whatever they want to over there. But a lot of people don't cross over because they just don't want to cross over. Because when you stand up out of your body, you get the memories of your lifetime here, but you get the memories of all your other lifetimes. And you realize at that point that some of your lifetimes were very hard. And maybe you don't want to come back and do this all over again. So a lot of times they just stay here. But you can cross them over. So what you do is, if you do come in contact with any of these other people or beings or dogs or cats or horses or cows or fish, you tell them to walk up to the light, move into the light, pass through the light, and you shall be received into heaven as one of God's children, because God wants all his children to go home. So it's possible for anyone to do. But even though we wake up in this world as babies in this world, and we all have this ability, not everyone is meant to keep it. Again, some of us are meant to be teachers and others are just meant to be students. You can't just go like some people go, oh, let me go take an intuition class and now I'm going to become a psychic medium. It doesn't work that way. You either have it or you don't. It's that simple. And you can't just gain it just by going, oh, let me go meditate, and now I'm going to be able to talk to spirit. Again, unless you get rid of all the pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, greed, sorrow, guilt, all that other crap out of your life, and get rid of all the people and stuff like that, you're not going to clear yourself enough to do it. It takes a very long time. It takes a lot of practice, and you have to maintain it all the time. So, but yeah, spirit can cross over anytime they want to. They just have to want to do it. And you have to
And
try to
then
convince them.
physically, you can only cross to the spiritual world through death.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a problem where people do these things. They go into astral projection. Here's my advice: don't do it, because if you don't know what you're doing, what becomes at that point is astral detachment. And detachment is, if you don't know what you're doing, can actually, because even when anybody's doing astral or doing these NDEs and stuff like that, you don't actually separate from your body, because if you separated your soul from your body would die. I mean, people who tell these stories that after the NDEs and stuff like that, they're not completely separated from their body. I mean, it's just not. You can't do that. You're always tethered to your body. But if you accidentally do it because you don't know what you're doing, then someone will find your dead body. It's that simple, because dead people don't tell stories. Simple as that. They don't. You die. You have those people say, "Oh, I died for 14 minutes. I died." No, you didn't. Dead people don't tell stories. You were just sent back with a message. That's all it is. People just get things screwed up because they just don't know what they're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't give it a try until you're very versed on it. Practice it, and it takes a lot of time, and you must be trained correctly. But I absolutely don't recommend doing astral projection. You could die from it. And what will happen at that point is your soul will not go into heaven. It'll go into another realm of which your soul was not meant to be in the first place. And then your soul will actually die. You will disappear to nothingness. I see this all the time. Unless you see, hear, feel, smell, communicate, taste, spirit, you don't know what you're doing. You're just guessing. And I see it all day long. I have people telling me, "Oh, I know this and that." No, you don't know nothing unless you're actually seeing it and actually experiencing it. I can recall myself seeing spirit ever since I was 3 years old. Again, I don't ever not see spirit. If you're not communicating, you see them, hear them, feel them, communicating, listening to what they are telling you, you are guessing.
And you're the
That's
only
just
one
the
that you
truth.
know of that communicates with spirits, correct?
No, there's many people out there who
Oh,
can communicate with spirit, but there's
oh,
no
okay.
one out there that I know of that's seen as many as I do.
Oh, okay.
No one does. I don't know anybody who does. You can't just communicate with angels. You can't just call out to angels and think they're going to help you. They don't do that. They're not going to come through somebody and then heal you, because no one gets healed in that way. Why? Because everybody dies. No one dies too soon, too young, unexpectedly, tragically, or untimely. Everyone dies. And if you have to come back again, they'll just bring you back again. It's that simple. They're not going to save you from a car accident, because they know if you have to come back again, you will. It's that simple. Even suicide is not what you think it is. Suicide is the soul taking over, letting the body know, "I have to get out of here." And it makes its way out of here one way or another. It's not what you think. It's not, "Oh, well, my life is miserable and now I hate the world. I'm just going to take my life." No, the soul is telling the body, "Hey, it's time to get out of here. I got to go. We got to make something happen here." Because you can say one day, "Oh, the soul is going to, you're going to go a car." The soul tells you, "Okay, wake up today and go to the mall." And you go to the mall. And then you get in a car accident and then you die. The other way is, "Oh, well, let me take over and let me commit suicide." Now, one way we call it suicide. The other way we call it an accident. It's the same thing. You just don't understand it because you're not meant to understand it. We get things so screwed up here and confused all the time because we think we know what we're doing. You have no clue. It's big picture
That's
things. Big picture things. Angels aren't these magical beings that are to come out and fix your life. They don't help you. They don't. You have spirit guides. But people want to believe and angels are going to do everything because you have all these fake mediums and all these other fake spiritual people telling you, "Oh, angels are helping you all day long." No, they are not. You can't even listen to your own soul, let alone your own spirit guides. But you need that magical being that's going to do it for you. They don't. People just get it all mixed up because a lot of people out there are telling a bunch of bullshit that they don't know the truth of. Stop telling it. If you don't know what you're really doing, stop talking to people. Stop giving them false advice because you're not doing anything. You're only conflicting everything because you want them to believe in these beautiful, magical beings that are going to help you and fix your life. They don't do that, people. They don't. They have spirit guides that come and do that. They, our angels are here to put out a thought, to put out a feeling, a sense of trying to get this world to back together because we all live on the same planet. No one's going anywhere anytime soon, so we better start to get along with each other before we annihilate each other.
Very true. Very true. All right, guys. Well, we are at way past our time, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. If anyone, so one thing we got to do is our daily challenge. We got to come up with a task or series of tasks that takes less than 5 minutes, costs $0, and is available to anyone from South Korea to South Africa. That helps us improve our spiritual health regarding the tree of life. Any thoughts so far?
Go out and help as many people as you can. That's what we're here to do anyway. That's what your purpose is. We're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not because you can, but because you should. So when you see somebody out there and you're walking down the street and you see somebody who needs help getting into a store because they're struggling and they have a walker or something like that, help them. Do that. It's very simple. Everybody can do it. It's called an act of kindness. When you're walking
Random.
through a door and you see somebody coming through you at a store and they're doing this, they're bobbing back and forth. What are they doing? They're spending a bunch of energy trying to figure out how they don't have to come in contact with you. You know what I do? I stand in front of them and say, "Hello, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm good. How you doing?" "I'm doing great. How about yourself?" "I'm doing great." "Now, have a great day." Do that. It's simple little things that we can all do every day, and it doesn't cost a daggone thing to do it. And you don't know, but maybe you just change their outlook, their perspective on life by giving them that act of kindness. And when you see people, stop judging each other. Because when you see someone else in the world and you go, "Oh, no, I don't like their shoes," or "I don't like their shirt." Well, think to yourself, think about everything you've done in your entire life. Everything. Think about all the crap you've been through in your entire life. And then look at that person and go, maybe they're going through some crap today too. Because everyone is going through something all the time. It's not just some people. I don't care how much money you have in this world. You're going through something. And when you see that person, instead of judging them, bite your tongue and walk away because you have absolutely no reason to do it. Maybe just say hello and change their outlook. It's simple.
All right,
Stop being
Joanne,
pieces of crap.
Andrea, what do you guys have for a daily challenge for us?
I'm going to
Yes.
suggest being still. Being still. Allow yourself to be still. The more still you are, the more quiet you are, the more you will be able to go through this evolution of whatever it is that you need to go through as a soul. Be still.
Being still gets nothing done. That's not what you're here for. If you're meant to be still, you wouldn't be doing anything. If you're not doing anything, you're not helping. If you're not helping, you're not doing anything. Stop being still and wake up.
A part of being still allows you to help people because you get to be still. You get to be still. You have to.
You're not
You
helping
have to.
anybody if
You
you're
have to be able
still.
to
You're
help.
just
You
sitting.
have to be able to help yourself before you can help somebody else. So being still is a
Absolutely.
great
You
part
and you
of
you
one
can do that all
person's.
day long, but you're not gonna help yourself by sitting still. That doesn't do anything. You have to get up and
Still,
move around. You have to do things.
What
stillness.
about
You can
meditation?
think
Stillness is.
through your mind without being still.
We're gonna leave it there.
All right, Andrea,
Leave it
what are your
there.
thoughts?
My thoughts is, you know, we don't know what people are going through. We don't know their past, their history, their future, what's going on in their mind. Be unconditional with love. All the things I've traveled around this virtual planet so many times, and it's just amazing. We want to be understood. We want to be respected. We want to be unconditionally loved. How do we do that? Number one, smile. You can't make someone's day without smiling. It's a reflection. We are all a reflection of each other. Number two, have patience. Know that everything that you do doesn't happen on your watch. Take a few seconds, a breath, one breath, all it takes to reset and recharge. Three, make sure that you are living your authentic life on your terms and following your heart and not the herd nor the herd, for success and joyfulness are on the other side. And get grounded and rooted with the earth because we are all connected and without judgment, without, you know, looking at people and not meeting them where they're at. It's a reflection of who we are, not them. Everybody goes through something. We all have a book of life. It's just a matter of what chapter we're in. So be bold, be kind, send unconditional love, and be yourself.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we've got that all taken care of, so we're going to wrap this show up. Thank you guys, our guests, Daniel and Andrea and Joanne. Thank you so much for coming out. We're going to put you backstage and wrap it up and finish up the show here. And audience, thank you so much for coming out and watching. I hope you learned something new, maybe many things new. What a great show. Spiritual health, tree of life. We learned all sorts of things. Yeah, I agree with that. So, I mean, daily challenges, do a random act of kindness to help out our people. We're going to be still and kind of meditate and then tell someone that you love them as well. Let's spread some love and joy here, tree of life. And hopefully you guys